What's up guys, Nightingale here, and welcome to another video. Today we are covering Tamarinne, since most of you have been asking so many questions about her, and I've been seeing some kind of scary oops builds already. I wanted to go ahead and throw this out here to hopefully help as many of you as I possibly can who have been picking Tamarinne up off of the recent 6-star, or this recent 5-star selection ticket. Now, a couple things we want to cover is we're going to talk about her artifacts, her gear, and her skills. The first thing that we want to talk about will be her artifacts. The artifacts are actually pretty cool because you can use just about anything. If we were to come here and look at artifacts for what I own, she could technically use Doctor's Bag, which wouldn't be the greatest choice in the world, but you could technically use it. You could technically use Idol's Cheer if you wanted to, which is her artifact, which would come on her banner. This isn't a horrible idea. Rod of Amaryllis isn't a horrible idea. I actually use this quite a bit, depending on if I need extra healing or not. And then obviously my potion vial I use for a lot of my Abyss stages, and I'll use it for Azvenak, Hell Raid, things like that. I will use Wanderer's Potion Vial just for the Dispel of being able to get debuffs off. Yes, you could technically use Water Gun if you really wanted to, but for me, let's see here, am I missing anything? I don't have Celestine. I think you could technically use that on her as well, but for what I have, my two big choices that I like seeing the most on her is Rod of Amaryllis and Potion Vial are the two that I really enjoy the most. As far as gear, if I just scoot, you can see these beautiful stats right here. Now, I know, it's okay. You're wanting to say that this is the absolute most amazing Tamarinne you've ever seen in your life. Thank you, I really appreciate that. No, it's absolute garbage, because why? She's a dumpster. You can literally put anything in her and make her work. As long as she hits 200 speed, roughly, and give her some HP. She works. This has carried me through some serious crap in the game. Yes, I had a little more HP at one point, but I pulled a couple pieces off actually it was the HP boots I pulled off of her and put them on somebody else because she didn't really need them. But as soon as I get speed HP, or speed imprint HP boots, sure, I'll pop them back on her and she'll gain some extra HP. But seriously, for right now where she's at, this isn't horrible. We've got decent defense. We're over 1,000. I feel good about that. We used to be around, I think, 15,000 HP. Now we're down to 13,700. I'm not going to sweat 1,300 HP. We're either dead or not at that point. I've got some wasted crit chance. Effectiveness, I'm not really sure if we really want. I'm debating on that with how her kit's set up. And ER is great if you're getting PvP'd, but honestly, with most PvE content and the way her kit works, it's very rare. Sure, you could get it to resist certain things, but it's subjective. Let's just leave it at that. The ER is subjective depending on how deep of content you're getting into. And all you need is a speed set, and you're good. Speed it set with a speed imprint boot, you're good. Now, something I do want to point out is she is one of the few 5-stars in the game who can take flat HP. That's right. Now, before you go start trying to roll everything flat HP, you don't want to roll everything flat HP. But she is a good candidate to take some. So in the case of me rolling this 9-speed necklace with some defense, effectiveness, and HP, this wasn't the worst thing in the world. Now, yes, this thing is garbagely rolled, but it works. It's giving her a little extra AP, or a little extra HP, and we're able to make use of it. Like I said, I used to have a speed imprint boot here that was an HP set. We'll eventually get another one and fix it, and she'll be back to where she was supposed to be. But really, you can use just random stats that work as long as you've got, HP, speed, ER, you hit a couple of different random pieces, it'll work. Here's the cool thing. You only need to 5-star Awakener, just so that you grab that extra speed there at the end. The 6-star Awakening is ER. If you're, like I said, if you're going to try to be taking her into PvP, or you're really trying to come up with a very high-end ER build, yeah, you would need that extra ER, but most of you can even leave her at 5-star. Now, I will tell you why I didn't leave mine at 5 stars. because I felt with the Abyss stages that I was trying to clear at the time, she was just barely getting waxed away. So I was like, okay, if I 6-star Tamarinne, it's going to add XY into my bulk. I think I was looking at a little extra defense, a little extra HP. I was like, okay, I'm struggling with this stage. I will take a chance and I will see what's happening. I did it, and I think that was one of the things, is I was just getting through with just enough HP to keep her alive. Now, obviously you could tweak her around and we could get her a lot bulkier. We could get a lot more speed on her. There's a lot that could be done to her. But let's talk about her skills, and then you'll understand why she functions just like this really well. So, first thing we want to talk about is the most busted skill on her kit, Shining Star. Before performing, it dispels all debuffs inflicted on all allies, recovers the caster to max health, and grants an extra turn. The caster will become an idol for 3 turns, perform a concert, begins the first of the battle with full cooldown. Meaning, unlike some units where you start with all your skills up, this skill starts on cooldown. Now, I want you to take a note right here. If you see up there, it says 8 turns, you're not blind. And yes, that is with this spent already. It is a 9-turn cooldown. It is very long. Now, yes, you could bring somebody like Iseria and reset this turn 1. Iseria just needs to be 10 faster than Tamarinne, and bang, idle turn 1. Really, really cool. But you don't really need to. It's okay. We can work on this later. We'll come back to this. But just remember, it dispels all debuffs from all allies, and it instantly recovers her health. Really big. Now, we look at her skill 2. Song of the Forest. While in her Tamarinne form, which is her generic form, she doesn't look like that. It is, heals all allies with a peaceful melody. Amount recovered increases proportional to the caster's max health, and it decreases the cooldown of Shining Star by 1 turn. When she's in her idle form, which looks like that, with a powerful performance, increases attack of all allies for 2 turns and increases the combat readiness by 50%. Recovering health, amount recovered increased proportional to the caster's max health. Now, I don't know if you understand this, but you're going to grant everybody an attack buff and CR push them by 50%. You can push them past a lot of crap, especially in your Abyss levels. This can get you to where you can get back out in front and get 1 extra turn off before the boss takes its turn. Or in some Halls of Trials, you can actually push past the boss and get an extra turn. You can do this in PvP. You can push past if you can get her through. So there's a lot of value here, plus granting an attack buff. Also, may I just add this out here just in case y'all don't know. If your Arby's are on Alexa basket and she has that attack buff up and he goes next, you want to know what? He's going to have Gab for 2 turns. Just thought I'd let you know that, just for future reference. So, very, very strong skill here. Now, we come over to Serene Tune. Now, while in her Tamarinne form, she attacks an enemy with a serene melody, heals the ally with the lowest health. It sucks, but it's a heal. They call it a heal. Amount recovered increased proportionate to the caster's to the allies' max health. So their max health will determine how much it is. It sucks, no matter how big or small the caster's HP is. And it'll also decrease the cooldown of Shining Star by 1 turn. Now, with her idle form, the idle form attacks all enemies with a beautiful voice, dispelling all buffs. She strips on her S1 while in idle form. That barrier, that immortality, that immunity, whatever. If it's a black background, blue little buff icon, it strips it. And then triggers a dual attack with the ally with the highest attack on her S1. You'll get to use that, I think, twice in her turns. So, pretty neat stuff with her kit. Now, I want you to notice, I've had my Tamarinne for how long? And she's only +8. There's a reason for this. Now, I've seen a few people go ahead and swing right through this. You do not level this skill on Tamarinne. Tamarinne is a friendship 10 unit, no questions asked. Now, sure, before somebody says, well, I saw Cleave Tamarinne, well, why the heck are you making a Cleave Tamarinne? Let's start there. Alright, so before we talk about the weird random crap of the deep, dark interweb, let's get away from that and focus on this. She's a Friendship 10 unit, meaning you will want to make sure she is Friendship 10 before you level the last part of Song of the Forest. So, what it will cost is 3 skill points, 1 Mola, and 3 Mercenaries Medicine, and then the 110,000 gold. Why is this important? Is because by investing into this, this is just a waste of Molas. This is a waste of skill points if you're going to just say, oh, well, I'll just go ahead and do it now and I'll add the 3 skill points in later. No, it's a waste of skill points. She does not need this up. As of right now, with the way her kit works, this is a dead skill for what you need damage for. Don't waste your Molas on this. Let it stop here and be done with it. Absolutely, the absolute first skill you need to level, that one. Take the turn down by 1. Now, something else I should let you know is that you can actually reduce the amount of time it takes to get into idle. And if I'm understanding this correctly, you can reduce it down to, I think, 6 turns. I believe is the minimum. I cannot remember because honestly, I don't pay attention to it because the game is on auto more times than not, so I never see the cooldowns unless I'm manually playing. But I'm pretty sure what that means is that you're getting her down to a 6-turn cooldown, which is still a long freaking skill cooldown, but you can reduce the cooldown to where her idle comes up faster. So the first one takes longer, then the second one takes a little less to come back around, which is fine. You'll understand it later. Again, you could Tamsaria her, hit the Isaria reset on that skill on her, and reset all of her skill cooldowns, and bang, she's idle. It's cool. I've done it before. It's quite cheap. So, what we want to basically talk about real quick to sum this up is why Tamarinne. She's a great Soul Weaver. She can heal a lot, and I mean a lot. It's quite impressive at actually how well her heals do, for even how scuffed this is. For some of you who have really well built Tamarinnes with good HP, you're probably getting even a bigger heal than what I've got. She can carry you through things you're not supposed to be carried through. She can go against type disadvantage, meaning she could go into blue and probably do still really well. You know, you try not to take in things like that, but you know, there's times where you're gonna have to do it in Abyss, where you'll take it against type disadvantage. But she's just overall, she's a great Soul Weaver. And what I don't want to do is I don't want to take away from the other units in there, but since so many of you have been picking Tamarinne and this is your first time seeing Tamarinne, I wanted to just get you guys a bit of a heads up so that you understand how to build her, what you're looking for, and where to go. We're going to summarize it like this. Just get her on a speed set and have speed main stat boots. Doesn't matter if this is part of the broken set, but just speed main stat boots. Aim for 200 plus speed. The faster she takes a turn, the more she's going to keep you in the game. Now, this doesn't mean go build a lightning speed 250 Tamarinne. We're not talking about that, because then you gotta, if you're gonna eventually do the Tamsaria, she needs to be 10 faster than that. Keep it reasonable. 200, she's been doing great with me. I've had her up to 220. It was cool, but I didn't need it. So this worked for where I was. You can get away with using scraps. That's why she's still plus 12. You've got several great artifacts to choose from. Whatever you've got on your account, shoot. You could probably even use Candlestick if you absolutely had to. So you've got many, many options out there to use for her. You don't have to fully invest into her. You don't have to even 6-star her to get the value out of her. You do want her 5-star awakened though, for the extra speed. That is all the great stuff about Tamarinne. She's fantastic. She is a unique Soul Weaver. You know, just like Amelia is unique. Let's talk about like Momo is unique, like Ruel is unique. Just as an example, she is a unique Soul Weaver. Nobody does her job exactly. She's got the CR push, the attack buff, and a big heal in her kit. As well as she's able to strip once in idle form. Phrasing. There should be a comma somewhere in there to not make that feel so weird. But seriously, guys, if you have any questions about your Tamarinne, hit me up in the comments below. I'll be happy to try to help you out as best as I can. And we'll see you guys in the next one.